evening. It is technically afternoon where I am, but it feels like morning. So I'm just going to say good morning to my friends here. I'm just going to say good morning to my friends. Apologies, you're about to get some double audio there for a second. We are back. How are y'all doing? Wow, apparently Kaya is doing great because she's already like, swig.
It's fruit beer.
Okay.
We can't prove that. We didn't see you open it.
Oh.
You know what? I'm not even going to judge either way. If you're happy, I'm happy, my friend. That's all.
It's Sunday.
Hey, if you watched my Terran episode with Nerd Out, you would know that the only time it's not for beer is when you're asleep.
Also
Fair.
in the bathtub. Shower beer is fine, but bathtub probably bad call.
Bathtub beer is not good?
If it's a warm bath, it makes you like drunker faster and you could fall asleep, and you don't want none of that.
That's
Unless
true.
you have a small bathtub.
Or somebody walking around to check on you.
I'm Floridian, so I'm immune to that.
Oh, okay.
Valid.
So we are here for session 3 of Trophy Gold's Tomb of the Serpent King. We are in some dire straits, but before we get to the situation in game, let's do a quick round of intros. First, a thing that I keep forgetting to note, thank you to Michael Gelfi for giving us permission to use the music, that the ambiance there. You can go to michaelgelfi.com, GHELFI, or just search for him on YouTube. He's got a bunch of cool ambiances and stuff for all kinds of different things. A lot of D&D type stuff, but some science fiction stuff too. So, let's just do a quick intros. Remind us who you are and who you are playing, just as importantly. I'm going to start this time with Chase.
Yeah, I am Chase. You can find me at Fromonger on Twitter. I will be playing Aram today, who is an escaped cultist, now a trophy hunter, whose one desire is to bribe the Justicars to erase their crimes.
Very good. Jake, how you doing today?
Good. I'm Jake Friday. Hello, everyone. I will be playing Ced, the abandoned squire and now antiquarian. As I'm reading this, I'm getting reacquainted with my character. He is trying to publish his discoveries from ancient Kaldur.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Excellent. Mike, my friend, how are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Doing good. Remind us about Parda.
I'm Parda, a woodcutter, a king's guard who is trying to resurrect the cult of Darwin.
Excellent. Resurrecting a cult, nothing can go wrong with that, I'm sure. And Dez/Kaya.
Hey everyone, I'm Kai Gaston. I am playing Deserim, or Dez. Once a runaway Kingsguard, now a historian, and my goal is to find the artifact that proves the king's true nature. And hopefully die a glorious death.
I mean, I feel like that's just an out-of-character desire, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is an in-character wish. I don't know.
Witness me!
You can't really assume that we're well-adjusted if we've taken up trophy hunting. Or, like, treasure hunting. I'm the trophy hunter, sorry.
The thing is, ultimately, you are the trophy of the dungeon. That's the thing. You are the dungeon's trophies.
Dark.
Yes, that's what it, like, if you play Trophy Dark, the kind of companion game to this, that's the way, because that was it used to be just called just Trophy. And then there was this other flavor of it now. We'll talk more at the end about the stuff they have going on there. But anyway, that was the thing. You're going in there to get trophies, but in the end, you will be the forced trophies. So,
We are the trophies that we make along the way.
Yeah, the real trophies were the... No, wait. Okay, so, situation. The last 2 weeks, you have explored into the tomb of the Serpent Kings, and you found that the tomb that you thought you were exploring was only the false tomb. You made your way into what seems like an actual tomb with all kinds of creepy crawlies, literally and figuratively, and at some point decided that discretion was the better part of valor and made your way back to town, only to find that your debts are such that you got a little bit of healing up, but not a whole lot. So you're still pretty ruined, pretty beat up. But the only way to deal with that is to go find more treasure. Right? That's how desperate you are, is that you crawl into these dank holes in the ground with whatever terrible horrors lie within, to find bits of treasure and gold and items that you can, hopefully strike it rich, but likely not. Just like real treasure hunters. It's like playing the lottery, only with death at the end. So, you are heading back in there, I assume. You're in this. You've finished. Last week we did all the bookkeeping of your ruins and your burdens and your equipment. Everybody good with their with the equipment they're planning to take back in?
Yeah, I'm good.
Backpack gear, combat equipment, etc. Cool. So we're gonna fast forward a little bit. The first part of the first set, as it were, right? The false tomb. You've pretty much secured that place. It looks exactly the same. There's some dusty remains on the ground of whatever bits you didn't pick up of the Skella asps, and including the ones that you roasted in their sarcophagi with setting tar and grease and stuff on fire. And there's that hole under the statue that winds its way down into the ground. And that's where we find ourselves, is you come down this passageway, and there's this octagonal room. So you come down kind of a wide passageway. The other 7 walls on it, other than the one that you came in on, all have these other... Well, most of them have doors. One of them has an open passage. And then there's this pit in the middle of the room surrounded by these statues. This pit is filled with an oily, foul-smelling liquid. And you'll recall that last time, when you got too close to it, a severed, decayed arm with a hand with long, nasty fingers. Armand came out, attacked you, but you kind of get a glimpse as the water was shimmering for a moment that there might be something else further down there, maybe sparkling, maybe that's just the water, hard to say. And then, of course, the other doors of the other hallway. Yes, we see the kitty. It's very distracting. Constantly. I mean, must be more distracting for you, I guess. So, you are here. The walls themselves are wet, dark, kind of nasty. Have you lit another torch?
Sure, I'll light a torch.
Okay, so you got another one of your torches out of your backpack. So you can mark that off.
I think I have one left. I would have restocked. No, I wouldn't have, because I don't have money.
Yeah, because you broke.
Yep, that's right. I forgot.
So yeah, you've got these passages. You've got... Oh yeah, we mentioned that one was blocked by a stone door that has carvings of snakes raining from the sky. What would you like to do here, my friends?
So we're past the pit, you said?
No, you're in the room with the pit and the statues and the doors.
Okay.
Well, I can always conjure our good friend, the golden thread, if we need a direction.
Why not? Efficiency.
One
Sure.
sec.
Why not?
I
I'll
will.
tell you why not. Oh, wait. So you are going to what is it? Remind us what it looks like when you cast this ritual.
Um, it's basically he pulls out an old scroll he has, um, that he nicked from one of the antiquities dealers that he's worked with, and starts reciting some magical words. I don't know what they sound like, but they're magical words, and a golden thread starts conjuring out of thin air until it's long enough, and then it takes off. Not very fast, but just starts going to where we need to go.
So you're hoping it will guide you to where you need to go.
Yep.
Um, that's good. What? Let's see. This is going to be rituals are always a risk roll because bad things can happen when you dabble in dark magics.
Nah,
For the others of you, what could go wrong? What are things that could go wrong here?
I cannot understand what our meaning of treasure is, or where we want to go is. It could have its own intent on where it wants to go.
Okay, one.
I have an
Desert.
idea.
Yeah, cool. What
Yes.
what could go wrong?
Well, the golden thread could turn on me and start attacking me in various ways that a thread could attack me.
I mean,
I think
there's
also-
garrots.
It could garage, sure. I think also it could take you to treasure, but heedless of the dangers between you and where you're trying to go.
just take us the long way through every trapped door imaginable.
I think it. I don't. I don't have the actual. Wait, yes, I do. Oh,
There's not a
Past
lot to
Jake.
it.
past Jake gave future Jake a gift and put the spells here.
Past Jake was pretty cool.
Yeah. What happened? Who knows? Nope, doesn't help. It just says exactly what we already
Yeah.
knew. Conjure golden thread to follow. So who knows where it could go?
That is the part of the design as we kind of as a group figure out what that means. Cool. Well, let's see. You've got the dark die for the ritual.
Yeah.
A light die if the task is something you are skilled at because of your occupation, background, or training, or because you are taking advantage of a piece of equipment or the environment.
I think one of my skills is artifacts, so I am looking for artifacts.
Okay, that's cool. That works.
Yeah.
Light die for that. A devil's bargain. Well, an obvious devil's bargain. Well, so last time, so I'm going to use the same one as before, which is that you can take an extra die, but whatever happens, you're going to get separated from your companions. Does anybody else want to suggest a different devil's bargain?
Like a creature comes up and said, or a creature notices us.
Yeah, you get the attention of a monster. That's a good one.
Do you lose the ability to cast this again?
Ooh. You
Kind of like Wish. You always have to roll to see if you can cast it again.
like losing a spell slot? Mm-hmm. It's possible. Any of these sound appealing to you?
I like.
Sed?
I like picturing said getting continuously separated from the group. So.
Okay, so that's going to happen. So 2 light die and a dark die, and let's roll the dice.
Okay. I got a 4 on the dark die and a 4 on the light die.
What's your current ruin?
3.
So you're going to add 1 to your ruin.
Uh-huh.
Off to a good.
but you'll succeed, but there'll be a complication. And then we need to figure out what how the world is warping your mind and body, as the game says. So think about that for a second. So let's see, you were specifically looking for artifacts. Yeah, I think what happens is you conjure this golden thread, and it kind of comes up and hovers in the air for a moment, and then just immediately dives into the end of it, just goes up and dives into the pit of water. This pit of oily, foul-smelling, dank water. And there's two things that happen. And you can describe kind of how you separate yourself a little bit there. Is it that you dive in after it? Is that what you do?
Well, I would just say the warping of his mind and body, maybe he it no longer looks or smells foul, and that leads him to believe that he should dive in it, and it's no longer really a problem, and loses fear of death for a moment and dives in. Yeah,
I think that's perfect. So you separate he thinks it's perfectly fine, it's perfectly great. The other thing is, you can, after he dives in there, after just a second, you see the water broken by another one of those Armands, and then it goes back in.
it's a helpful Armand though this time.
Sure, it's a helping hand. Walk, walk, walk.
It's not a Harmond, it's a help arm.
A helpmon,
Yeah.
right?
I tried
on
to
board.
pun, it was really bad.
Yeah, and in this terrible liquid, it's water, but it's water that's been standing for so long that it's filled with all kinds of filth and little floaties, and who knows what those are.
Is it deep?
It's not terribly deep. It's maybe 8 feet deep.
So the golden thread just kind of went through the
It
floor.
goes. No. There's something down there. In addition
Sure.
to this arm that's like swimming somehow.
How
good.
opaque is this water?
Pretty opaque. It's like going to your local lake. Like, you can kind of see the vague shape of Sed under there, and you can, but you can't quite see whatever's at the bottom.
He's got a helmet now too, like a big metal helmet. So that helps him at least.
Kaya, what you got?
I have a weird question. Mainly just because I want to be able to use this before I die. Is
Conjure
there
fire.
are there pieces of Armand lying around that perhaps I could create a human effigy out of?
Well, y'all took you took the one from last time
We
and
took all
sold
of
it.
Armand?
Yeah, I think you sold it. There's another one here in the water.
So we just have to kill that and make a little finger puppet.
Because I have that. I have that enliven ritual.
Yeah, you
Give
could make
flesh
it.
and- so
You
I
could
like,
enliven other things certainly as well.
I just
I think
wanna
if
make,
you-
like,
Statues?
Yeah, you could do that. Or what's the Addams Family character, the hand that runs around
Thing.
thing? Yeah. After you kill this one, or if you do, you could just take a stone hand from one of the statues.
I just want that giant. I want it to look like those aliens from Arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you
Oh,
could
yeah.
totally break off. It's probably a little bit risky, but you could break something off to do it.
Is there a statue in this room?
There are 7 statues in this room.
Can I make one of them come to life and help us?
You could cast your ritual you can start catching your ritual while your friend is somewhere deep in the water.
Is this something that I should wait on?
It's up to you. It'll take a few minutes to do. So while you're doing that, whatever else might happen will happen. 'Cause he just dove in.
Since I've got a spear, I would like to, not with the pointy end, but with the other end, just kind of like swat the Armand away from our friend as he hopefully doesn't drown.
Okay, yes. So, yeah, you take the butt end, you kind of get in there to distract it. All right, it is climbing up. It is coming up to attack. This is definitely going to be a combat. Like,
Okay.
you've provoked the combat. The sticking itself was not the combat. So,
I
Well,
would
then I will abandon ritual and I will make a grease bomb.
a grease bomb. Tell me about this grease bomb.
I'm gonna take because I have the 3 uses of grease.
Okay,
I've used 1,
I think that's right.
so I have 2 uses left, and so I am going to break the back end of my torch off, so I have a little bit of the stick, and I'm gonna take some of my shirt and then I'm gonna rip it and then wrap it around and then slather it with grease, and I want to like light it and just fucking toss it at this thing and hope that it sticks.
This is fantastic. I am all about this. So I'm not even making you make a risk roll for this because that's going to be represented by the combat weak point.
I recall it didn't like fire the last time either.
That's true. That is certainly true. Is Parta going to join in this fight?
Yeah.
What's Parta going to do? Tell me about what you're doing there.
I'll just use my sling, or I'll get up to it. Use my sling up. It rises up above the liquid.
So you're going to kind of try to hit it from close range.
Yeah.
Hit it and quit it.
Interesting, and that could certainly go wrong and hit somebody else too. And Aram, are you just trying to stab it? Is that what you're trying to do with the spear?
So since I've got the stabby bit like up here, and stabbing it went fine last time, both my friends intend to yeet a thing in it. I'm going to yeet it skyward, ideally into the ceiling, just sort of clay pigeon, just
pull. Yeah, there we go.
Respawn.
I got it. All right, so everybody roll your light die to get your weak point. I'm guessing that Sed being in the water is not fighting this thing. Is that right, Jake?
I feel like he's because he did get a success, so he's following the golden thread. And you said he's probably going after whatever is down there. You mentioned something's down there, so he's probably just like single-mindedly following. So to answer your question, no, he's not fighting it.
Makes sense. Until it makes sense. Aram, what's your weak point?
4.
4. And what about Parta?
2.
2. All right. So,
And you got mine right.
you got a 6.
Yeah, every time we succeed, I die.
Good point. So, everybody roll your dark die, and let's see what we get.
Ooh,
What you got, Kaya?
2.
Oh. What about the other 2 of you?
1.
4.
1. So, here is what happens. Aram and Parta are both going to take damage. So he's going to increase your ruin by 1.
Okay.
The reason this happens is, first of all, as Dez fires off this grease bomb, it misses and instead hits Aram, and Aram gets burned very badly. You know, he's able to put it out because you're right there by the water, but you've got these terrible burns
put it
on
out
your
yet.
chest and
Hug him.
arms. Well, the problem is that when he yeeted the thing in the air, it went up and landed perfectly on Parta.
I'm helping.
And Parta, yeah, you're helping. Parta, this thing momentarily squeezes the life from you. And you see this strange vision of just like this disembodied arm came flying down and landed on you. For a moment, you see this strange vision of just like that, snakes just falling out of the sky, just a rain of snakes everywhere, landing on the ground, crawling around, hissing, and then it disappears. But this has left you shaken, and that's where you take your 1 ruin from. This thing is still alive and still moving. If you want to try again, we can try again, but we'll add a dark die.
Oh no. Well, our buddy is at the bottom.
Yeah, so let's while y'all think about what you're going to do there, Sed, what is Sed doing down there?
But yeah, just going after. You mentioned that there's something down there, and he's just continuously. He's got a chainmail shirt on and a metal helmet, so I think that helps him,
Get down quickly.
dive down. So yeah, he's just going after it.
Okay, so this is going to be a hunt roll. Um, do you have a skill or piece of equipment to make your hunt easier?
No.
Really?
I have artifacts, myths, obfuscation, and aiding. So
And none of your equipment will help find stuff at the bottom of this pit?
I mean, I can't use a flame, so
That won't work.
yeah. I mean, I have a. That's not going to help. Not really.
And you don't have any tokens, so alright, just roll one light die.
That's a 2.
The 2 is you encounter something terrible.
We're doing terrific.
You start swallowing some of the water.
Mm.
Or at least it's
Delicious.
getting in your mouth. It is. Not only is it pretty rank, you also get this. Start to get this tingling, numb feeling in your limbs when you do.
So I'm back to being able to smell and now taste the horrifying effluence of this stuff.
I think it still kind of looks to you, maybe not actually clear, but clearish, like looks cleanish. But when you drink it, you're starting to feel like it could have some effect on you. That's the terrible part of it. You can keep digging around with, which will probably lead to a risk roll, or you can kind of come out of there if you want.
Yeah, I'll pop back out of the water oil stuff.
Okay, so you see him kind of takes him a minute, kind of breaks the water. Meanwhile, this thing is all over Parda. Aram is partly on fire. This thing is still going. If y'all want to attack again, you can. You'll get an extra dark die, which makes it more likely you'll succeed in the fight, but also more likely that somebody will get damaged. But if you want to continue the attack the. If you want to continue the attack, we just add one more dark die and roll again.
I think Sed would join the attack once he
Oh,
composed himself.
so Sid, how are you exposed to danger?
I feel like it's all around me. I'm probably the closest to this thing, or is it
This thing is over on Parda now.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a weapon?
I do. I have a crossbow.
Oh, because maybe you're taking a shot.
Yeah.
All right. Any others danger? So all of you roll the dark die, as will. Well, actually, first roll your light die for your weak point.
2.
Okay. So everybody now roll a dark die. I see a 2. I see a 5. I see a 4, a 3.
5.
Well, there's good news and there's bad news.
The bad news is I no longer have a chain shirt.
The good news is that you've killed the thing. Between Parda kind of trying to rip it off of him and the crossbow bolt. We'll see. Who had the 2 5s?
I did.
Okay. So, yeah, with you stabbing it with the spear, Aram, and Parda kind of holding it out, you kind of get it in there and just crunch it in. The problem is that, let's see, all of you except Dez take a ruin.
Can I use I have my manacles as an equipment. Can I use that to take damage?
No, that's armor. Armor can be you can mark off an
Oh,
armor to absorb the ruin.
okay. Yeah, I have a shield. Um, I have a shield for my armor.
Not right now, no, thank you.
So,
Okay.
so I'm getting rid of my shield so to not take the ruin then.
Yeah, you mark off the shield, so maybe it takes that crossbow bolt that would have hit you, and it shatters the shield.
Okay.
Yes. And Aram and Sed, are you marking off any equipment, or are you going to take the damage?
Yeah, helmet taking the damage.
Okay.
Chain shirt because I'm a 5 ruin.
Ooh, yeah. So,
Oh no.
yeah, I think as this thing is leaping around from each of you, I think maybe when it reaches, when it leaps back over to Sed and it grabs the helmet you see just melts. That metal just turns into gunk and slides off into the water, as does that chain shirt. Well, no, they you can always repair them when you get back to town, but it's just not usable for now. But yeah, that's basically the thing. So you have an Armand, and still there's something down in the water.
Like a creature or something shiny?
Something like something shiny-ish.
Guys, there's something in the water. I can't quite get it.
Do you want to go back in the water, or do you want me to have somebody else go back in the water?
I can go back in.
Well, I can have a buddy go back in the water, I might be able
Oh,
to get
yes.
Armand to work for us.
Fantastic. Yes.
So are you
Much.
gonna try to use the Armand for now, or are you gonna try to use one of the statues?
I'm kind of torn because the statue would be kind of cool, and it would just kind of walk into the water and just not have to like breathe. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do a statue because that sounds really cool.
So what does it look like when you cast your ritual?
Because I take a ruin, don't I?
You have a chance of taking a ruin. You don't have to. I mean, sorry. It's going to be a risk roll, and you're going to have to include the dark die.
Okay. Well, because all rituals, I feel, need to have some blood component. I'm going to walk up to the statue, and I'm going to cut my hand, and I'm going to run my hand from the the tip of its head to the base of its toes. And I'm going to, like, exhale onto it. And bring it to life.
Is this something you are skilled at because of your occupation, background, or training?
So, let's see. Let's find out. I could have researched about it. I'm a historian, so like I feel like
Okay, I mean
I've read a lot about this, but I don't think I've done it before.
okay. I take the light die. Devil's bargain. I think the devil's bargain is that you could do this, but this is easy. Some trap around the statue gets set off, and you'll have to make another risk roll for the trap.
What about if the statue animates but attacks Dez as a devil's bargain?
That's if it fails, right?
I think so I think that's a possibility if she fails with it.
I kind of like.
Because
I had one.
when you do the risk roll, you fail. You fail and things get worse, or it could be you succeed and there's some kind of complication, or you succeed. So that is certainly a thing that can happen if things get worse. That's a good idea.
Because I was thinking if it failed, then the life I was trying to breathe into it backfires, and the unlife starts to breathe into me.
Ooh. That's another thing that can happen if you fail. For sure. But for Devil's Bargain is a complication you get, but it happens no matter what. Um, do you want the Devil's Bargain, or do you want to just stick with your one light and one dark?
I don't know, because I don't want to trap to spring, because then that means more.
Then what the Devil's Bargain is. Like, you don't have to take it. You can say, nah.
All right, just wish me luck on these two.
Okay.
No.
First of all, what's your highest die?
2.
What is your dark die?
A 2.
What's your current ruin?
2.
Your current ruin is 2?
Yes.
Wow.
I was at 4 ruin, and I did the stuff back in town.
Oh,
so the
that's
rest of my money.
right. Yes.
So I'm back down to 2.
Okay, so you're going to fail, things are going to get worse, and also the world is warping your mind and body.
Huzzah!
Yes,
It
certainly.
would have been so cool.
No, I think that's exactly what you described it as. You're trying to put life into this thing. Instead, there's some sort of ward on it that flares for a moment, and instead it sucks life out of you. What does it look like? What's happening to you as the world is warping your body, as a little bit of your life essence is sucked out? What does it look like?
So she's just standing in front of this thing with her hand outstretched from the palm, and you just see the droplets of blood start to hang in the air as it just starts to float towards the statue.
I like it.
And maybe her cheeks go a little bit more gaunt. I love horror.
You all see as some of her life essence changes. You just look a little grayer. The statue doesn't move.
Is this all part of the ritual, Des? No, I guess I'm going back in.
I missed a chapter.
Yeah, you got to read these things thoroughly.
I take a ruin.
Yes, you take a ruin.
Let's go with one of us goes in the water instead of the statue.
Did it look pretty far down, or was it pretty near the surface?
It's like about 8 or so feet down. More, in other words, the idea being it's more like you can't just go down and like stand in the water, but it's not so deep that it would be difficult to get down there and get back up.
No, I mean, do you have to like dig to find what we're looking for?
No, it's right on the bottom.
Okay.
So sounds like Parda is doing a hunt roll there. Sounds like Parda is trying to get in there and see.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay. So you have one light die. Do you have a skill or piece of equipment that would make your hunt easier?
Can use like a wood, like a net or something to or like something to carry it.
Do you have a net?
Yeah, I'll use a net.
Do you have a net, or you're marking off a piece of one of your slots on your backpack?
No, I'm marking off a piece of equipment.
Awesome. Great. So that's 2 light dice.
Okay.
Let's see what you get.
2 and a 6.
6. So you take a token. You don't find anything terrible. You can immediately spend that token to find one of the treasures if you want. There is definitely stuff down there. So you could either spend that token to find a treasure worth 1 gold.
Including of what we're looking for, or is
this is some of it. You can do either. You can either save the token and say this is part of what we came here for until you get 3 and we add it all up, or you can just spend the 1 token now. Either way, it's basically, do you want to get 1 now, or save this for part of 3 and potentially get more than 3 later?
I'll show the rest of the party what it is first. I'll save it for now.
Save it for now. Okay, so yeah, there are some kind of bags with junk in them. It's going to take some time to evaluate later. Their actual value is kind of how we'll represent that in character. There are definitely these. It's hard to see say how valuable they really are. These small pieces of jewelry and so forth in this bag. So that's all kind of represent that you have a token. Because what you came here for right now is the treasures of the Snake Men. That is the goal of this set.
Right.
So you've got some amount of treasure here. So good. Party, you make it back out. You didn't encounter anything terrible. That's good. And you are still here in this pit room. As a reminder, there are several coffins in here. 2 are undisturbed. 1 is open and empty. There are these 6 other doors and 1 room coming out of here. What do you want to do?
Is there any writing over any of these doors?
So one of the doors has an elaborate stone carvings of snakes raining from the sky.
There's no type of language or anything.
Nope, just these pictures on it. There are 5 other doors that don't have carvings, and then 1 open passageway to another room. Plus these coffins. You got choices. You got options.
Coffins are never good, it seems like. So
Not
maybe
great.
skip it or preemptively light them on fire.
Remember, there's 1 that's open. You haven't looked in, and there are 2 that are sealed.
We could check the open one. Less likely to have a trap at the very least, and anything inside that would want us dead is probably not in there because it would have come out. Give us an idea of what kind of nickels and dimes we're looking at.
If you
Could I
just
study?
poke-
Can I study the construction of it to see if there is a trap on any of the coffins or the open coffin? I mean.
Sure. That is definitely a hunt roll. And you said you have construction, so that's gonna be it's gonna be 2 light dice.
Okay. 3 and a 2.
You encounter something terrible. And sure enough, as you are exploring this thing, you can see you're pointing, and you kind of peek over it. You see there's some piece of paper or something like that, something rolled up inside the coffin. But as that happens, there is these spikes come out of the sides of the coffin, trying to impale you. And we're definitely going to need a risk roll to avoid the damage here.
Okay.
So there's going to be a dark die just because you're risking your body automatically. Is avoiding this, is dealing with this trap something you're skilled at because of your occupation, background, or training, or a piece of equipment maybe?
I do have for my construction and tracking skills, crafting, construction. I don't know if that would help or not.
You tell me, do you think there's a way that could help you?
Like studying the construction of the trap, seeing if how it's made to see if
Like maybe you kind of anticipated it somehow?
yeah.
That's fair. Okay, so you got 2 light die and 1 dark die. Let's roll
Okay.
those and see what happens.
Two 6, a 4 on the light die, and a 2 on the dark die.
So you have your highest is a 6,
On the light die.
and
And a
and the dark die is lower than that?
Yes.
Perfect. So you succeed. So tell us how you avoid these spikes coming out.
I disarm the trap before the spikes are able to come up.
Perfect. And as noted, you see some kind of rolled up paper in there. This appears to be some sort of a magic scroll. Anybody jumping on that?
Yeah, I'll show it to everybody.
I would love to read it.
Yeah, I was thinking this has Des. It doesn't literally have Des written all over it, but it kind of does.
It's just
Yeah,
a
I'll
creepy
show it to
serial
you.
killer. Des.
Read the whole thing, Des. Yeah.
Out loud.
Yeah, as you are studying it, Des, this is a ritual. This is a ritual known as sleep.
Ooh.
And what
Good
this ritual will do is it will send a person or an animal into a deep slumber. So you have this scroll that, if you read it out loud, would cast this ritual. If you intone correctly and all of that. What other effects it might have, you don't know.
I'm so good at rituals, y'all. I am the right person to have this for
So
sure.
still in the
Nothing
room.
wrong is gonna happen.
I can't foresee any issue. Still in the room are 2 undisturbed coffins that did not have, per your hunt roll earlier, did not have traps on them, as well as the other passages and so forth.
So maybe we do want to crack open these coffins, see what's in them.
Sure.
I mean, there's gonna be some form of risk, but there
Yeah,
is gonna for the possibility of a reward.
this is better than the trinkets and baubles we had in the last couple. So should I check them for traps?
You want to take one and I'll take the other,
Yeah, sure.
and just like see if we can trigger these simultaneously.
So
and try
to be
glorious
clear,
death?
Parda already inspected these.
Oh,
This
That's
for
not-
traps. Yeah. Parda
I thought it
specifically
was
said
just
he said he was checking all 3, so I kind of did that. Yep.
fantastic.
nice. And we're good to go.
So you're going to open up. There are no traps. So do you open it?
If we're not looking for traps, I'm gonna ask that someone else open this one.
I'll do it.
And I'll open the other
Love
one.
you.
Hugs and kisses.
I appreciate that as well.
As you
I slip
slide
it
it
open.
off, there's this grinding sound, stone on stone. And inside, you see desiccated human corpses.
Human
no
corpses.
human corpses that don't move as corpses should not.
So are they moving or not?
They are not. In other words, they're moving the way that corpses move, which is to say that they don't. They are being still. They're doing what you want. They're not animating. They are inanimate.
There was like
Okay.
a lot of. It was like
A lot of flowery language. They're fine. You're fine. They don't do it. They don't attack. You're good.
it doesn't not unmove.
Sorry, I was trying to be fancy.
No,
Not
you're
too
good.
fancy.
It's
We're just
great.
over here having heart attacks. Like,
Yeah.
are they flying? Like, what's going on?
What's happening?
Nope. They're good. They are quiescent.
They're not living.
Can I put a crossbow bolt in the chest of one just to be sure?
Sure. Just you walk up.
Pin it down like old timey vampires.
Yeah.
Just to make
Yeah.
sure. Yep. The body vibrates slightly when it takes it, but otherwise that's it. They're good. You're good. But there's, unfortunately, you don't see any baubles in here either.
Aw,
Well, at least they didn't move.
that's true.
Yeah, it's a positive. I think all coffins are good from now on, though, so that's another positive.
I don't know if I'm willing to make that generalization.
I did find some gold in the coffin I did check out. So we do have
So you've got one.
there.
Yep. So you've still got 7 passages, one of which is open, one of which, one of the others has this elaborate stone door. What do you want to do?
I really want to go through the elaborate stone door.
Feels like that's where the money is.
Yeah, like you don't put a lock on something you don't want stolen.
Zed is going to kick down the stone door with one fell kick.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's one way to deal with it. I didn't think we were gonna. All right, cool, excellent. So this door is not locked; it opens up, and you see beyond a hallway off into a dark room.
I still have my torch.
Right. What do you do? Do you press forward? Yeah, give me a hunt roll.
Behind Sed and light his way.
Yeah, so let's roll 2 dice because you're using some equipment to make it easier.
Both of us or just him?
Just him. He's using your equipment effectively.
Yeah.
2 light die.
2 light dice.
Yeah, so that's a 4 on the high end.
Okay. Cool. So you take 1 token. So now you have 2 tokens, but you do encounter something terrible. So, as you are proceeding into this, let me look at my map and make sure which of these you run into first. Yes. You make your way through this hallway, and it's kind of winding around, and on the side of it, like there's a pit over here. So like this walkway kind of goes around the edge of the pit, and this pit is a hideous mash of fungus, dead animals, and bloated sacks of fluids. And every few minutes, one of these sacks of fluid.
So it's animated water balloons?
Drags itself from the slime of the pit and kind of forms itself into some not human but vaguely human shaped creature. It's like a short, dirty, misshapen person, and you can see after a moment it opens up and it has this mouth with far too many teeth. There's just rows of teeth and tiny beady eyes. And it's coming towards you.
Can I shoot it?
You can absolutely shoot it. This is a combat roll if you want. This is a monster.
I shoot it with my... For some reason, I had written down crossbow with flaming tips.
You had tried to set one up. Are you going to try to take the moment to kind of
Yeah, sure.
light it? Okay. So who else is going to join in the fight with this thing?
I mean, I'm right with him, so I might as well.
Okay. Sorry. Aram Aparta?
I'll join in from a distance and use my sling.
This thing is basically just a fluid-filled sack.
Yeah, it's a water balloon.
It was, and then it formed itself into this slimy kind of humanoidish shape.
All right.
And you can see more of these things everywhere in there.
Can I hit it with a torch instead of my maul?
You can certainly try.
That's on brand.
I mean, on brand.
Yeah, you've got it. Yeah, that's fine. Why not?
It's a melee weapon.
I think I'm going to sit this fight out for right now.
Okay.
And instead, if the first volley goes poorly, I am going to be spending the next 10 seconds setting up a bear trap in the door for my party to hop over, and ideally this thing just shuffles onto.
Okay. All right. So the three of you who are doing, give me a light die roll for your weak point.
5.
2.
Okay. So now everybody roll all the three of you rather roll a dark die.
3.
2.
3.
So you have a total of 6. And there was a 2 rolled, which is part as weak point, right?
I rolled or
Your weak point was a 2.
on the light
Yeah.
die? Okay.
Yeah, and then said rolled a 2. So as this, I think this thing bites you pretty badly, Parda. It's with its rows of teeth within it, and you can feel it digging into your flesh. You can either mark off your other piece of armor, or you'll take a ruin. Up to you.
I only had the shield as an armor.
All right, so you're going to take 1 ruin.
Okay.
As this thing is just trying to consume you. It's almost like it's trying to ingest you. Ruin has come to our party. And this thing is still fighting. You have not brought it down.
It sounds like my poodle.
Wow. Poodle needs to go to the vet. Do y'all want to keep fighting, or do you want to try to run?
Did Aaron
I'm going to
tell us?
suggest running and then trying to fight again if necessary, but
I get. Oh no.
If you fight again, you'll get an extra dark die, but there's just a chance, obviously, that people get hurt again.
Can I take like a 2-second survey to see if this room is worth being in?
As you glance around, you see that this mash is starting to form new creatures, and you can also see that the walkway continues on into a much larger chamber.
Could we just run past it?
You can try.
Could we just run past it and just avoid anything?
So what I hear you saying
can we
is,
do this?
Here's the thing: once you're in a fight, you can certainly disengage, but you have to basically hand your weak point die to one of your comrades, and that increases their chance of getting injured as this thing keeps fighting.
what happens if we all
I'll
attempt to
do it.
disengage?
Can we hand the weak die to the thing that's pursuing us?
I don't know. You can't do that.
You can't do that?
If you're going to stop fighting it, it's probably just going to have a free shot on some of you.
Okay, 2 options. We continue to fight it while the other thing grows.
I mean,
We
this
have to
thing
fight
is
that.
chomping on Parda right now.
Oh, okay.
Pretty
Well, in that case, I'll hit it.
Yeah, shoot.
All right. Parda, you're still fighting it, I'm guessing.
I would want to disengage from it.
Okay, if you want to disengage, who do you give your light die to? Dez or Sed?
I don't.
Who's- Who's your favorite?
Jesse
Just pick your
Ross
favorite.
says you can all run away, but that's definitely risky. Yeah, you would each have to make a risk roll. Yeah, that's why that extra risk is where they would keep trying to chomp on you.
I'll say does.
Yeah. Give it to me, baby.
Okay, Aram, are you still gonna keep? Are you gonna fight? Or are you gonna just keep watching still?
With one of my friends about to die, I think I'll jump in.
Okay, so give me a light die roll for your weak point.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. 2.
2. Oh, that's great. That's so. 2 is now double dangerous because Dez has a 1 and a 2. You have a 2. All right. So each of you roll a dark die, as will I.
Did we roll 2 this time or just 1?
Just 1. I'm rolling the extra 1 here.
5.
Aw, 6.
1.
So
No.
there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is
Ruin.
that you pierce this thing and it pops. This vaguely goblinoid
Gross.
shape just pops and explodes in this fungus mash grossness. I rolled a 6 here, by the way, so y'all are good. So whoever had a 5, so Sed and Dez each take a ruin.
I'm gonna have my chainmail take it.
I will have my scale mail ticket.
Very good. So I think in both cases, I think it's pretty clear. It just kind of, it's like chemically burns through this thing. Just, and it's no longer providing any protection. It'll automatically become useful again when you get back to town, by the way. So you don't have to spend gold on that. That's what you're,
Huzzah.
that's because you already have a burden from it. Like that's what the burden is for, right? Yeah, what are you going to call this thing?
I like water balloon. Evil, what, goblinoid water? I don't know.
I mean,
Water gabloon.
Gabloon. There you go. Water gabloon. There you go.
I like it. It's definitely a lot more appropriate than mine was going to be.
What was yours going to be?
I don't know, but sack was somewhere in it.
Wow. All right. So
It is that.
you see another gobloon starting to pull itself from the pit. You can stay here and wait for it, or you can run on, or you can do something else.
Run
I
on.
think run on. If we get enough of a head start, I'll set another bear trap. Let's just go.
Do you want to set a bear trap?
We're going to run
once we've got
past?
yeah.
Okay.
Run past once we've got a space that's small enough that it has to go over that. I'm gonna spend like 10 seconds set a bear trap.
Does that sound risky to anybody else? Because that sounds pretty
Nope,
risky to
not
me.
even, no, it sounds like just another day.
That's everyday stuff.
Yeah, it's totally normal.
To set a bear trap while you're running from something?
No, like we run,
Yeah.
and then like we're running quicker than they're forming, and then we stop, and then like you know, professionals set bear traps in, like 2 seconds.
Yeah, I've seen
and we just go.
Aram, before he goes to bed, he practices doing this. It's like,
This is my nightly ritual. I can't get a good sleep unless I'm surrounded by a
Wait,
triangle
did you
of
say
crabs.
ritual?
he
Oh.
forgets.
I'm not touching that ritual. I'm not touching that ritual. That being said, we could try to put it to sleep.
He sleepwalks, and then like we wake up and there's bear traps all around us.
Yeah,
like, always,
he doesn't. He
like,
forgets to brush his teeth, but he doesn't forget to practice
But
setting
bears.
bear traps.
I gotta say,
Brush the trap.
if you are running from gobloons and then trying to kneel real quick, set a bear trap, that's going to be a risk roll. But
Yeah,
you can take a
we are being
light.
pursued.
Yeah, you can take a light colored die because clearly this is something you're skilled at based on your background, right, or your training.
Based on my skills.
Yes.
At least he's really good at it based off his companion saying he's very good at it.
Do you want a devil's bargain?
I'm about to die, but obviously, bring it on.
You can take it to the light die, but 2 gobloons will come out of the mesh.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Excellent. I love how y'all are just poked. So it's 2 light die and a dark. You are definitely at risk with this bear trap.
So good news, the dark die is not the highest.
What's the bad news?
Bad news. The highest.
The bad news is I got a 2.
That's your highest? What did you roll?
2 1s and a 2.
This is like...
no.
Wow. Okay, so you fail and things get worse.
I forget. Was there a way to like do a roll again by just adding a dark die?
Yes, you can add a dark die and roll the whole thing again.
I would
Yep.
love to do that.
Absolutely.
First time this whole
Oh! We haven't done that yet, so this is good.
so
What's your highest?
good news. But I would like to proceed that with a question. If the dark die is your highest, you only take ruin if it's equal to or higher than your current ruin?
Correct.
Fantastic. Because I got a 4 as my highest.
Okay. And what is your dark die?
A 4.
A 4.
Great. And what's your current ruin?
5.
Well, yes, the good news is that you succeed and there's some kind of complication. The other good news is that you don't take any ruin. So, you set this trap. I use probably like a tool or something to kind of spread it out and lock it.
Honestly, my spear in my boot.
There you go. You're just like pushing it down. Let's see. Complication. How? So it's they're coming towards you. They're coming towards it. I think though that the Let me scroll down to this part of the module because I really didn't think y'all were going to go this way. This is why it's great. No, seriously. I've heard. I think all of you have heard me tell you in the past that I think that the best part about these games is when the players are entertaining the GM, which is definitely happening here. The complication is that chamber where you were headed towards, as you glance in there, you see 4 of these gobloons. But they're surrounding some sort of. It's hard to say. It looks like some object. You'll have to make a hunt roll if you want to go in there and kind of explore your environment. But they don't. They certainly, at first glance, haven't given you any notice. So
I wasn't expecting my grave to be this gross, but
Question. This sleep spell I have, is it on one or on an area of effect?
What did I tell you that it says?
I wrote will send person or animal into deep sleep.
I took the ritual and it is singular, not plural.
Yeah. But you've got This isn't directly the same as the old D&D spell, although certainly it is.
I do have one more use of grease.
They might be accelerants. What's in there might explode. Go for it.
I'm going to tell you something, by the way. As you're kind of pausing, these fungus gobloons, I love that. I want to say gobaloons. This thing snaps shut, and you notice that when it does, that loud noise that it makes as it bursts one of them, the other one is clearly visibly shaken by that sound and kind of stops.
Quick, chastise them. Chastise the gobloons.
All I can think of is like Parent Trap when she was like smacking the sticks together to like scare off the mountain lions.
Wow, that is a deep
That put
cut.
a fair bit louder.
A Parent Trap, like the original one with Haley Mills?
No, I was talking about the remake with.
Oh, I haven't seen the remake. Oh.
No.
Okay. I was like, I'm thinking about the one from like the 60s
I've
or
seen
whatever.
both of them, but the
Yeah.
one I was referencing was the
Okay.
one with Lindsay Lohan. Okay, moving on.
They
So
have the original Parent Trap on Disney.
Yeah.
I know they do. They have both of them on there. Just saying.
So,
anyways,
do you want to proceed into this other room?
If
I
you want to,
Who's going to lead the way in there and do a hunt roll?
Me.
Nose goes.
I'll do it.
I
Okay,
guess
Sid.
Sid's doing it.
Sid, so, one light die just for... So tell me what you're trying to do. Tell me how you proceed, first of all.
I Scooby-Doo sneak in. Yeah, exactly. And, yep. And, yeah, just looking around, getting the lay of the place, not introducing myself to anyone if possible, trying to find symbols, see what's going on.
I dig it. Yeah, so let's, do you have a skill that would make this easier? Or a
I
piece
have
of equipment?
artifacts, myths, obfuscation.
I'm going to tell you that myths is relevant here
Excellent.
because they're
Yeah, this
clearly
feels some-
surrounding some object.
Culty bullcrap.
Yeah, so roll 2 light dice and let's see what happens.
That's a 3. I can't roll above a 4, apparently.
Apparently. So you're going to encounter something terrible. The first thing I want to tell you is that these 4 gobloons are kind of prostrating themselves in front of this stick and mud idol that is wearing a crown made of forks and knives.
They're
And-
less intimidating now for some reason.
They
All hail
They-
cutlery.
are kind of ignoring, like they kind of seem aware of your presence, but are ignoring you. Like you kind of see them turn towards you for a minute and they continue to just keep bowing themselves. They sound like the Ewoks when they found C-3PO. You can see more goblins forming from that pit. The gobloons, rather, forming from that pit of slime behind you. It's a ways behind you, but you can see them forming back there.
Is this chamber a dead end?
No.
I can just keep
It
setting
leads
traps
off
while we
into-
figure this out.
You can see it lead off into a much, much, much larger chamber. Like you can't even see. It's almost like leads off into a big cave.
Yeah.
So
Guys,
what do you do?
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeet ourselves.
Okay.
Fine.
Avoid combat.
Um,
And run.
you keep running. I'm not going to make you make a risk roll here.
Oh, thank God.
You come into this large cave that is really a dank, dark garden. And you see there's stuff that's planted. You can take a minute to look at it. There's also two things. There's a small, like partially collapsed shed that seems to have some stuff in it. And there is a hallway that seems to lead upwards.
I'm gonna go take a look at that shed.
All right, give me a hunt. Give me a hunt
'Cause-
roll.
Hunt. Cool. If I am good at tracking. Or, yeah.
Sure, why not? I don't know what tracking is here, but sure.
Or engineering. Either. I can tell you how it's made.
Okay, great. Yeah, so yeah, 2 light dice then.
Ha! 2 light die. Okay. Ha! 6 and a 4.
6. You get a token.
Huzzah! First
Um,
token, y'all.
no, you're
That's
you're
awesome. I
up
worked
you're up to
on it.
3 tokens now. By the way, you are in a different set. By the way, you entered a set called the Goblin Warrens, and we talked about the out of character. Like you have an out of character goal in this set. You can go back to the previous set, obviously, and just keep your tokens. In this set, the goal is to make it back to the surface.
Got it.
But I don't think you have enough tokens, enough treasure that you really want to do that yet.
We broke.
But in here, there's a gobloon kind of patrolling around, but it doesn't seem to notice you. It's on the other side. So around this shed area. Inside is an assortment of improvised weapons. Brooms, pitchforks, sharpened sticks, etc. And then there's the garden around you. Which you could investigate, or you can investigate that hallway, the passageway that leads up, or you could go back towards the throne room.
Back the way we came.
You don't want to investigate the farm at all?
No, I was saying, like, back the way we came with all the things.
Oh, it's a question. Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
the throne room
sorry.
is where you came from. So you can go back to the throne room, where, again,
I feel
those
like we
four
want to find a
gobloons...
roundabout way back.
Those 4 gobloons were not attacking you.
Yeah, but the only way back out of the throne room is going past that pit, right?
Yes.
Can't a Scooby-Doo run through everything?
Just Heisman our way through.
I mean, you could certainly try that. It's certainly risky, but you could do it. You could investigate this farm. You could try to go up to the surface. You'd probably do other things too. I'm just thinking about the things that are obvious. Yes.
Do
What would
we
you
get
like
the
to
sense
do?
that that hallway leads up to the surface again?
Well, it leads upwards anyway, at least to like in the direction of the surface. If there's whether it's directly or there's stuff in between, I don't think you know, but sure.
Just check that out now, and
Yeah, I wouldn't mind just looking around this farm real quick just to make sure there's not something that's like this
And
farm is covered.
keep in mind that with your 3 tokens, you could spend one of them at any time to get a treasure worth 1 gold or whatever. So, yeah, give me whoever is investigating the garden here. Give me a hunt roll and tell me how you're inspecting it.
Has there been? Can I see if there's been people? There's been anyone else who's investigated the garden, or if there's been
This sounds really good. So yeah, you've got
I got tracking. Yeah.
perfect. So let's roll 2 light dice and let's see.
Okay. Oh, I rolled 2 1s.
Oh no.
So you lose all your tokens. Yeah, they're down to 0.
Oops. Sorry.
And you encounter something terrible.
That's awesome. That sucks.
Throw it away.
That mass of goblins from the throne, not the ones that were in the throne room originally, but the ones coming out of the pit, the squad, they just keep waddling towards you. And they look hungry and curious.
Cool.
The garden itself, while you didn't encounter any treasures, the thing is that what you do see is it's planted with rotting leaves, weapons, fingers. You didn't find any treasure this time.
Can we skedaddle towards that hallway?
You absolutely can. I think you've got enough of a head start that you can. There's the one that was patrolling has kind of noticed you, but it's far enough away that you've got some room there. So yeah, you lead up to this passage. And it's winding around and around, and after a while, you get the sense that you have lost the goblins, the gabloons.
The gabloons.
Gabloons. I love that. I just and I think after a bit, it splits. And you can see and smell and hear that one way kind of leads off towards fresher air, and the other one leads back towards not back towards, but leads towards a darker, more silent area. So do you want to head up towards the fresh air, or do you want to head down into see if you can find
Down.
something?
Down.
As much as I would love to leave this place and never look back, we're all broke.
And
Sure.
we get killed if we don't.
Yeah.
pay.
You don't get killed, you just run out of money.
We all took out
And
student
starve.
loans, and they now know where we live.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
This game is like it serves as a great reminder to check and make sure I paid all my student loans for the month.
Yep.
So, I think that as you continue on down this sloping back down, you come into a small room this time.
That is filled floor to ceiling with chomping teeth.
No, it comes to, so you're in kind of this smallish room that's fairly empty, and a heavy stone door in front of you.
Oh, we've had
Like it's
such great
sealed.
luck with heavy stone
And
doors.
you don't see any of those pegs, and you don't see any carvings.
I think Sed has learned his lesson about kicking stone doors, so he's gonna check to see if it's unlocked and easily openable.
Okay. Yeah, give me a hunt roll there. Do you have a skill that would help with that?
No, I don't think so.
I
Okay.
help him and lend him my engineering.
I can help with my construction as well.
Take all of our dice.
Yeah, so Dez is helping out, so why don't you roll 2 light dice?
I rolled a 6.
Take a token, and sure enough, you get this door to open up. It takes a minute because it's a little bit tricky because you're opening it from basically the back side of the door. And when you open it up, you are back in that octagonal room with the pit. You are back in the True Tomb set,
We did it.
and you have a token.
High five. That was weird. I went this way and you went towards the camera. I'm like, we're playing Portal. Okay, let's not go through that other door. Let's try someplace different.
So in here, you still have, as a reminder, you have several other sealed doors that don't have those carvings on them, and an open passageway to another room.
Open passageway seems less trapped.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep. Sure. I'll lead the way.
You find yourself in a large rectangular room, with 18 statues, 6x3, of snake people.
This is fine.
What do you want to
It's
do
totally
in here?
Fine. Well, I definitely don't want to try and bring one of them to life.
Strip the statues of every little bit of gold they've got.
Why don't you give me a hunt roll if that's what you're trying to do? Tell me how you're trying to check them for treasure.
So I'm probably preceding it by looking around them for pressure plates and the like, see if there's traps or if just the traps beforehand were enough. And while doing that, just kind of like scanning them up and down, see if there's any jewelry, any gold inlays, any gem eyes that we need to like crack out or something.
Sounds good. Yep. So you got a skill or anything that helps? Or piece of equipment?
Got traps, but I'm mostly looking for the money.
I think it's fair to take it though. Take the extra light dice because you did specifically mention looking for traps. So
Okay.
2 light dice.
5.
5. Take a token. As you are inspecting these, they all sound kind of hollow to you, like they're made of clay, and you can hear, when you're kind of tapping them, you can hear the little bit of that sound, that feel that indicates that it's not solid. But from one of the ones in the center, I said it's kind of the 6x3. One of the ones in the middle, as you're doing it, you start to smell ozone, and you realize that something is charging up in here. You have just a minute before a trap goes off. What do you do?
I'm gonna shout at everyone to get out of the room.
Oh no.
This is going to be a
How
risk
Aram
roll.
dies.
This is going to be a risk roll. What do you hope will happen? You hope that you dodge the trap, I'm assuming.
I hope that whatever nonsense lightning bomb's about to go off in here, we're in the other room when that happens. Also,
Okay.
that it doesn't melt all the gold.
All right, so you're definitely going to have a dark colored die. Is this something you're skilled at because of your occupation, background, or training? Are you going to take advantage
Not
of a piece?
really.
You're going to use any equipment to help you in some way?
I would like to think about that.
What equipment do you have right now?
So I've currently got 1 bear trap, some deer and bear musk, which I don't see being very useful, some soap, and 2 open slots that are just things.
Reach into
Right.
your bag and pull out a speed potion, like a
Right.
something that I'm.
The speed potion. Great. Yes, that's definitely a thing that you have. Maybe, since I told you it's charging up some kind of lightning thing, maybe you could take a devil's bargain by, you get an extra light dice, but you mark off one of your backpack equipment for something metal, like
It's like pythons.
yeah, sure, yeah. You're basically sacrificing something, mark off metal to kind of attract it. So you're gonna lose the equipment for sure. So you'll have a light die and a dark die, unless you have a skill that could give you a third die, like a second light die.
I'm good just sacrificing some equipment.
Okay, then 2 light dice.
Dark
Sorry,
and
one.
light
Sorry,
die?
one. Yeah, sorry, 2 dice, 1 dark and 1 light.
6. Dark die is a 3.
Excellent. You
Nice.
succeed, and sure enough, a blast of lightning comes down, frying the metal equipment that you had there, like a lightning rod that sit there. Zap! And it's clear it would have. It could have been very. I mean, you're already in bad shape. That probably would have ended you.
So that statue is no fly zone. The rest seem okay. They're also hollow, so maybe there's good stuff inside them if we want to crack them open like pinatas.
Sure. I'll run over to one of them and crack it open with. I've got them all. I am the best pinata player as we stand.
Right. So why don't you give me a hunt roll?
Hunt roll.
You're using some equipment, you said, so that's going to be
One
2 dice.
wall. And can I add another one for engineering? Since I
You just get the maximum of 2.
Well, that's stupid.
Say that.
4.
Take a token. As you burst, there's 2 things that you find. One is, as you're just kind of walking up and you're just bashing each of them, just smashing it open, they all seem empty except for 2. One, you see a, inside it, you can, the others, they're just like on a pedestal and they're just empty. One, though, the pedestal is hollow and has a small, carvings in the side of like a shaft leading down into the darkness. And you're like, oh, that's cool, that's cool. The problem is that one of the other ones, when you open it, when you burst it open, in the bottom of it is this dark amorphous blob just quivering there.
Earn it.
Little teeny tiny pseudopods coming out from time to time.
It's probably scared.
It should be. We're gonna burn it.
Burn it.
Let's just talk to it.
Nope.
Nope.
All right, so you're going to fight this. This is a monster, I will tell you out of character. This is a monster.
While they were doing that, I wanted to investigate. I wanted to use my tracking to see if anyone dropped any gold or anything.
Okay, we can resolve that after the combat.
Okay.
So, who's going to fight this thing besides Dez? It sounds
I
like
will.
Aaron. So 3 of you, Arda, are you going to join in?
You have my
Or
cross.
you're going to keep
And
investigating?
my fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna be investigating. So
Okay. So each of you roll your light die to get your weak point. Each of the 3 of you.
2.
Oh!
Wow.
Well, great. Now each of you roll a dark die to see what happens. I see a 3. Did he get a 2?
Yeah.
What did you get there, Aaron?
I got a 6. Love you.
Well, the good thing that happens is that firebomb that you drop in there just incinerates this thing.
And your face.
Yeah.
And me.
Let's kind of zoom in on this a little bit.
Let's.
So Sid, what was your ruin before?
I'm at 4 with no outstanding armor left to use.
Okay, and Dez, you were at 3.
I'm at 3 ruin.
Okay,
I've been really lucky.
and I want to be clear. You did roll a 2, right?
I did.
Okay, and Arab was at 5 ruin, correct?
Yes, I feel like this ooze was an accelerant.
Was there? You don't have any armor left, right?
Not left.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a choice. Do you want Aram to simply die, or do you want him to in some way become part of the dungeon?
he turns into an animated bear trap that just haunts.
Well, I have an idea of what will happen. I just want to know: do you want him to die, or do you want him to be part of the dungeon?
Oh well,
Part of the dungeon, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, right. So this firebomb goes off, and the backblast burns Ced and Dez pretty badly. So that's where you each get your one ruin. With Aram, though, the effect is different. That firebomb that you throw in this thing, marking off your supplies and so forth, as normal, right?
I'm out of grease.
This blob explodes, and so much of it lands on him that you see it starting to work its way into his ears and his eyes and his nose and his mouth, and it's melting into his body. And after a moment, he kind of looks up, and as he's looking up, like, he stretches out his arms, and you can see his whole body turning into ooze. And after a moment, he turns towards you, and there is an Aram-shaped blob.
Use your soap.
As opens where once he had a mouth, there is only a yawning void.
Is his
Still on
equipment? Is his equipment still there?
Yeah, can we raid his body? Like,
Yeah,
Gotta get
so-
that bear musk.
And then the blob sort of loses its shape, the Aram shape, and kind of oozes back into where that statue was and through a little crevice and disappears off into the dungeon. Yes, his equipment is left behind.
Neat.
I imagine like the bear trap, like kind of spinning for a moment, like when a coin is, and then it loses its momentum and sits. Yeah, the equipment is still there, sure, but Aram is no more.
Des will just do like a platoon thing, which is false her knees. Yeah.
Parda,
I'm gonna haunt you all.
Yes, please.
let's do your hunt roll, Parda. What were you checking for?
I wanted to use my tracking to see if anyone dropped any gold while we were here.
This is good. Yeah, give me your 2 light dice.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask you a question, but we'll see what I want to see the results of the hunt roll and weave this into it.
3 and a 1.
So you don't find any treasure.
Okay.
You encounter something terrible, and I think that as you're looking around, you can see in the crevices between the stones of the dungeon floor, you see a faint bubbling ooze that seems to be the same color and consistency of what used to be Aram. That is the terrible thing.
Said I was gonna haunt you.
What do? Do you want to spend any of your tokens? While you were in the True Tomb, you have 3 now, I think, right?
No, we lost them.
But then you got several back. I thought you were up to 3, or were you up to 2? As a group.
Up to 2, I thought.
I
'Cause I know
stopped counting.
Yeah, we're back up to 2.
Okay. So you can spend.
I have both of them.
You can keep investigating your environment, or you can spend tokens for treasure. Remember, in this room, you have that shaft that leads further down. I will tell you that leads you out of this set into another area, like another level of the dungeon, effectively. You can go back to the pit room where there were other doors. You could go back to the Gobloon Warrens.
That doesn't sound a bit...
I thought that place was great. I was looking forward to spending more time there.
You were just looking forward to embodying the gabloons. Yep.
It's very good.
Yep. So
Alright.
great.
So my stomach sounds like when I haven't had breakfast.
That's what my brain sounds like whenever I entered a class.
Fair. So what do you wish to do? The 3 living ones.
How
That we haven't seen yet.
What's that?
I say we investigate the other rooms, that we haven't seen yet.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. How many? I have 5 burdens. How many do you two have?
I have
Four.
4.
So 13.
Yep.
And that's without getting extra for ruin. Okay. Yeah. So just the whatever room we haven't searched.
Okay.
Just mourning in a corner.
Loud bubbling in the distance.
You open one of the doors, and there's this partially collapsed room ahead.
Search it?
And it's kind of you hear echoes of angry groans within it.
Oh, fantastic!
It's fine.
Totally fine.
Why
It's a ram haunting us.
don't you give me a hunt roll?
Who?
Which of you is
Me.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you
So-
have a skill or piece of equipment?
Just artifacts and myths and obfuscation, and so pretty much no.
Obfuscation. I mean, there's a collapsed room. There could be stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, stay 2 light dice. Maybe you're familiar with people covering things and how to hide things.
I appreciate your generosity there because the first one was a 1 and the second one was a 6.
So take a token. There seem to be some shiny. So you're up to 3 now. So you can either. So you find within there, in this room in particular, there are some weapons and other things inside that rubble. As you're kind of clearing a path. You can either spend your 3 tokens to find what you came here for.
Ooh. But that seems like selfish, right? Like, because there's only 3. And I guess that's what the game encourages, kind of?
It's the 3. It's for you as a group. I don't understand.
Well, like, it takes 3 to find... So only 3, and all of us can find what we came here for?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that if you spend 3 tokens, you fulfill the goal of the set.
Oh, I thought it was each one of us had to spend 3...
No, the tokens are for the group. The tokens belong to the
Okay.
group, and the benefit accrues to the group.
So we could find the appropriate amount of gold that we need, and the artifacts.
You find in this set. The goal is to find the treasures of the snake men. So basically, you spend 3 tokens and you find all the treasure.
Yeah. We have
But it
3
wouldn't fulfill our burdens necessarily.
Depends on how much it is.
Yeah, there's no way that would fulfill our...
It's more than 3
know.
gold. I'll tell you that.
We need 13 or 14?
I mean, it's not the end of it doesn't end the game. It fulfills the goal of this set. You still know you have found 2 other levels, right? You have found the Gabloon Warrens and you found that shaft that leads further down. But you would end up finding all the treasure on this level. At least that's how I think it works. Honestly, I'm a little bit confused sometimes about how treasure works in this game. But in this case, I'm going to say, because the goal of this level is to find the treasures of the snake men, you'll find the remaining... If you spend your tokens, you'll get all the remaining treasure in this level.
I mean, yeah, Sed would be definitely down for that. Jake kind of was hoping Sed would become part of the dungeon, but...
there's still
time.
play... Oh,
Still
yeah.
time.
I mean...
Totally time.
Yeah.
You and Aram are just gonna be.
Or
chilling.
you want to keep looking for something terrible, I can make something terrible come out. I just,
Well, I would love to spend the 3 tokens and then see what kind of terrible we can still get into.
Yeah,
Fair.
sure, let's do it.
I think that makes sense, right? All right. As you're digging around in the rubble and you're kind of going through that bag that you found at the bottom of the pit, you find the following.
Ooh.
You find several random gems and jewels worth what I'm going to say is 7 gold. you find two things that are much more unique besides this 7 gold worth of treasure. A silver ring that has iconography of eyeballs carved all into it. There we go. A silver ring with eyeballs carved all into it that really grabs your attention. Also, there's a gibbering mummified head. It took a little bit for the water to kind of drain out from the pit. It was in that bag in the pit. But it's a mummified head, but it just... it sounds like Adam Sandler.
So burn it.
We found Adam Sandler's mummified head.
Burn it. Burn it.
That's not comedy, Adam. I just start yelling. You're just making noises. No.
Stay in your lane.
Does he
So probably that would be worth something to a collector is really the thing.
So okay, so he's not like it's clear that it's gibberish.
It's
not
just gibberish. It doesn't make any
ancient
sense to you.
language.
Not that you know.
Okay.
Probably
Well,
some scholar would be interested in studying it, would pay you for it.
cool.
Hey.
And then this silver ring with eyes carved into it.
I'll take the ring.
What do you do with the ring?
I'll say the eyeballs. They're the symbol of the cult of Darwin. So this would help resurrect the cult. I'll say.
Do you wear it?
Yes.
Excellent. When you do, something happens that may freak out the other two, but isn't actually that bad. One of your eyes pops out and becomes hard as glass. Except, here's the best part, Parda. You can still see through this eye normally.
Useful.
Just, it's here, and you can still see from that eye. It's just, to everybody else, looks like a glass eyeball as long as you're wearing this ring. When you... if you take off the ring, the eyeball magically pops out of your grasp or wherever it was and back into your head and is healthy and normal.
Still have like the string,
That's incredible.
That's pretty.
No,
cool.
there's no string. It's just
like what the hell is it?
the optic nerve.
Retina.
Thank you.
The retina is just the back of it. Yeah, the optic nerve. No, when it pops out and suddenly it's like he's just got like the socket there, and when he's holding it, it's like a glass eyeball that you might find like at a novelty shop now, except he can actually see through it.
That's
Of
pretty
course.
cool.
I say yes. This ring was worn by someone that I know, or that I've heard of.
So you can. So you've got. What did we say? 7 gold
Worth of gems. and
worth of
jewels.
gems and jewels and rings, the gibbering
Parda
mummified head, and the silver
Right.
ring of eyesight.
Yeah, I think Sed has fulfilled his desire to publish his discoveries from ancient Kaldur. He's found his discoveries. He hasn't published them, but
The thing is, and remember, your burdens as a group sort of are lowered now because you don't have to worry about Aram's burdens anymore because that's done.
I think we still have 12 though.
yeah, it's 13
13.
Between the 3 of you, you have 13
total.
Yeah, I have 4 burden.
I have 5.
And Parda has 4?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, we all started with 2, and then we wanted to heal, and so we took on 2 more.
Yep. And then some of you had extra equipment and you did things. And so the question is, do you want to go back as you are, or do you want to press on into either the Gabloon Warrens or into that dark shaft leading into the ground?
Well, Des hasn't found her answers yet.
I think Sed wants to continue because he has what he came for, but he's just had so much debt that
Yeah.
he'll be in jail.
Yeah, the same reason.
All right. So you're going to proceed into that little kind of shaft climbing down with the handholds. you are now in a new set. Again, this part is out of character knowledge. The set's name is Zizamanter's Lair. XI Manter. I'll put it in Zoom chat for you.
Sounds baller.
And the set's goal is to make a deal with or avoid Zizamanter. You descend into a massive stone chamber with broken pillars everywhere and surprisingly accurate stone statues of bats, spiders, and gobloons. It's almost completely dark, and you can hear what sounds like a chain or something being dragged around on stone. Do you still have your torch?
Yep. It lasts for 3 hours.
All right.
If it's been more than 3 hours, I can light the last one that I have.
What are you going to do in here?
I am going to look for... That sounds terrible. I want to look on the walls, looking for information, looking for iconographies.
I can help with that.
Okay, so, yeah, let's roll 2 light dice and let's see.
6.
Oh, very nice. You get a token. You don't see what the sound is just yet, but you do see 2 open passages. One leads up into the world, as well, not to the surface world, I mean, but up into another level of the dungeon. And one is an open passage down a finely carved stone hall. How are you proceeding through this?
Kind of just want Ced to just sprint to his doom, collect as much treasure, just do everything at double the speed he was doing it before.
Okay.
Just haphazardly go after
Good to know. What about Dez and Parda? How are you two? Parda, you're muted.
I would investigate the room as well.
Well, it's so you've done the hunt roll. You've done the kind of investigating around. You just want to go back towards that sound that you hear? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Okay. And Dez, what about you?
Did I see anything, any information, any stories on the wall?
It's very dark in here. Just these pillars and
I
statues.
have my torch.
Yeah. There's no carvings and so forth on these walls in this room.
Okay. Because my main goal is to find artifacts that expose the true nature of the king.
Right. Maybe you want to look more at these statues or something. I don't know. Maybe you want to follow Ced.
Yeah, I feel like I want to follow Ced, but I don't want to. I'm like standing there, like,
Come on.
don't leave.
So I'm
something
going to tell you,
behind.
as you're doing all this, Ced, you come face to face with what was making that sound.
Mm-hmm.
What you find is a very large lizard with a chain around its neck. There's a key embedded in that chain, and then that chain drags onto the ground. It's got 6 legs, and its eyes kind of do a spiraling thing.
Cool. Can I not look at its eyes and just try to yoink the gold chain?
That's going to be pretty risky, so, yeah.
That's the goal. They're trying to make Ced a part of this thing.
All right. So, why don't you make a risk roll? Let's see. So, what you're hoping to get is that key. What could possibly go wrong is that this thing could do some bad stuff to you.
Oh, yeah.
It can.
Many.
It can. You can probably guess as its eyes and there are these surprisingly lifelike statues in here.
Yeah.
Do you want a devil's bargain?
Yes.
You take a light die, but while you are avoiding its gaze will fall on one of your party members.
Oh, lo siento mucho. I'm sorry.
Bring it on.
You want the devil's bargain?
Yes.
Just do it.
Two
Just
light
do it.
dice and a dark die.
Yep. Just do it. Just Nike this thing. Just do it.
That's a 5 on the dark die, and my ruin is 5, and a 6 on one of the light dice. So that's good.
So the you don't take ruin because your highest is a 6, and the dark die is lower than that.
Yeah, I'm at a 5 on ruin.
Yeah, but that's okay. But your light die,
Yeah.
you had a 6, so it doesn't matter. You succeed. You get that thing, but Des, you feel your body starting to turn to stone.
Oh, yes. Yes, please.
What do you do?
I feel my body starting to turn to stone.
You need to do something, or you're going. Your skin is hardening, and movement is becoming difficult.
The only thing I can think of trying to do is to enliven my flesh.
Ooh.
Oh, a ritual upon yourself?
Yes.
That
Well,
would be awesome.
it would be.
I don't even know if it's supposed to work that way, but it's so awesome, and I know that you're not going to be able to play during our week next week. So I'm going to break some rules here because it's more fun, and we have some constraints. So yes, let's do your risk roll. So you got a dark die for your ritual. Is this something you're skilled at because of your occupation, background, or training?
I've done a lot of research on it.
Okay, fine. So there's a light die there. Devil's bargain.
I'm automatically probably just going to say yes because at this point,
I think that the devil's bargain is that you get the extra light die. But I think one of the gabloons is going to come investigate.
okay.
You attract the attention of some other monster. Okay, so 2 light dice and a dark die. Let's see
Got
what you
it.
got.
I got a 6
Nice.
on the light. I got a 6 on the light die, and I got a 2 on the dark die, and a 5 on my other light die.
So you succeed. You enliven your. What does it look like with you cast this ritual?
I just take my thumb. It's gonna be really gnarly, guys.
Do it. I'm for it.
I'm gonna take my thumb and I'm gonna run it into that same cut I had made earlier to open it back up, and then I'm gonna smear it across my chest, and then I'm gonna take my palm and put it in a fist as the blood drips down, and I'm gonna bang it into my chest to try and take my own air and pump it throughout my body.
Awesome. And with that, we need to stop because I know that one of you has a hard stop in 7 minutes. And I want to thank you all for playing. Thanks, Jesse Ross, for coming and hanging out and chat with us today. I'm sorry we're making a mess of your game. We're trying to figure it out, but it's fun. The important thing is we're enjoying. Everybody having a good time? Yes.
I'm having a great time.
So let's do a quick set of outros. And then I'll have just a quick few and wrap up announcements. So just quickly, who you are on the internet and your stars and wishes. So something, a mechanic or a moment or something that you thought was really cool and how you'd like to see the game change or evolve, add, subtract, update, whatever. Des.
Hey everyone, I'm Kai Gaston. You can find me on Twitter at Crit Charisma. I live here mostly on the variant rolls. I will also be on Dice Priory on Tuesday for Firefly at 10:30 Eastern. Also join me here on Variant Rolls 7 p.m. Eastern for Nerd Out. Moving forward, stars and wishes. Stars, I'm giving. I have to give it to my fallen comrade Aram for burning so beautifully and then essentially becoming venom and sinking into the the building. Wishes. I wish that though this ritual actually succeeded, that I am actually part of the cave, and I then attack everybody.
I'll keep that in mind. Excellent, excellent. Um, Mike, I know you got to go in a minute. Tell us where you can find you on the internet.
Yeah, at Silent Chariot, Twitter or anywhere else. Pardo's my character. Star, yeah, it's a Arum setting the bear trap. Was really nice. Wish is just being able to play this game more. I guess I've been really having a lot of fun playing it. I can't really say nothing to really add or anything onto it.
Interesting. Cool. I'm glad you're having a good time. Jake.
Hi everyone, I'm Jake Friday. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jake Friday. My star goes to Kaya just for turning into her own golem, I guess. Yeah, her own Frankenstein. And Wish is for said to become part of the dungeon in the worst way. Maybe get some of those fancy swirling eyes. I don't know.
Cool. I can see where some things might happen. And
Excellent.
Chase.
Yeah, my name is Chase. You can find me at Fromonger on Twitter. My star for this is honestly, yet again, the whole party. I appreciate that. When I said in our star in our first session that we were very action oriented and just pressing forward and whatnot, I was expecting that to slow down when all of us were on death's door. I was wrong, and I was very excited to see that happen between Ced diving into the gross frickin' water after stuff nebulously at the bottom, Dez lighting literally everything on fire forever. Like, y'all are great. I love every single one of you. You're fantastic. My wish is honestly that when I inevitably play this game with various people in the future and do like 4-hour sessions, it's as fun as it was for this one. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I will start off with my stars and wishes before I do the wrap up. So, star to all of you. What I love is this. It's so I could say I'm leaning into you're all leaning into the principle of play to lose, but play to win, especially the play to lose part. Like when I told you the the pitch for this game to kind of is that. You try to avoid badness, but it's part of the game too, and bad things can happen. You kind of just have to relish it. Wow! Like, now I want to play Trophy Dark with all of you because it really emphasizes that part even more. Forget all the tokens and treasure. Now I just want to play Trophy Dark. So we'll be doing some of that on Variant Rolls next month for sure. I think probably more than one because Dan, the founder of the channel, and one of the mods now, and I both are loving this, so we're going to have some things coming. My wish is that I could figure out better how to deal with the treasure in the sets. That's on me. I've got to kind of keep getting familiar with the game, but that's okay. That's, we're just starting. I've only run 6 hours of this game so far, so it's good.
You're doing great.
And the thing, like, I'm not down on myself. We're all having fun. I'm just trying to figure out how to get better at it. In terms of outros, thanks again to Michael Gelfi for letting us use his music. Also, thanks to Jesse Ross and the folks over at the Gauntlet for this game. It's so fantastic. They have a Kickstarter coming out next year. They're going to have Trophy Dark, which is the original trophy, Trophy Gold, and Trophy Loom, which is this world setting of Kaldur, but presented in random tables. Much like some of the tables where we've done all the random generation for your drives and so forth like that. So just take that and amp it up, and that's how they're presenting the setting of the world. So that's going to be coming soon. And there's going to be more stuff about how you can integrate the two games, how you could use maybe Trophy Dark, for example, as your kind of funnel into Trophy Gold. So that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to that happening, Jesse. Here on Variant Rolls, tonight at 7, so like in 4 hours, 7 Central, is Urban Shadows, set in Juneau, Alaska. Don't miss that. Tomorrow is Grim Femmes. It's something called Overlight. I don't know what that is, but Grim Femmes is our friend Emma, and it is a delight and also spoopy, which is just like Emma. Tuesday, as noted, 6 p.m. Central, Nerd Out. Right here, our very own Kaya and her sort of Why don't you tell us very quickly what Nerd Out actually is?
So Nerd Out is a interview-based show where I get to sit around, I get to sit down with some pretty awesome people that I've come in contact with and talk about a topic of their choice that they are passionate about. These are really, really awesome conversations. Most of the time, they're really, really fun. Sometimes they can get a little deep. This week, I'm talking with Stephen Rowe about networking professionally at Comic-Cons and how to properly approach people to be respectful of their time and understanding, but also leave a lasting impression. And these are just really cool conversations that I get to have. They're every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I have 3 more episodes left. I still have some pretty awesome people coming. Right after Stephen is going to be Eugenio. Right after Eugenio is going to be Dan Dillon. And
now of Wizards of the Coast, correct? If I'm not, yeah.
And that will wrap season 1 with season 2 being shot at PAX Unplugged with some more amazing people. So please join in. I love it when I see people in the chat. And I hope you enjoy these conversations because I definitely have.
It's fantastic. And to be clear, it's super professional, high-end production quality. It's not like
I put a lot of work into it.
You do, and this is a thing that you know professionally. So it's not
this
like
is my job.
Yeah, this is not like me fucking around with Streamlabs and whatever. You know what you're doing. This is why my overlays look like this. It's fine. Then Wednesday at 6:30 Central we have Dungeons and Deductibles with our good buddy here, Jake. Friday evenings, there's Courts of the Shadow Fae and Dresden Files. Then Eugenio on Saturday mornings runs a Descent into Avernus. Mm-hmm. There's also, I don't know how much of this is still happening. There's Project VHS on Thursdays, which is a huge thing that Dan is running of Cypher System and science fiction occulty stuff. So all good stuff. And then next week will be the last session for this. So we'll be wrapping it up. Don't worry, Chase, we're going to get you, going. Arab is no more, but you certainly are. So we're good for that. Thanks again. Did I cover everything? I think so. Oh, and you can find me on Twitter at TechnoScald and on my Twitch channel, TechnoScald, where I stream EVE Online mostly. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Now let's look for a raid. Any friends of the channel streaming right now?
Legends of Avantris is on.
Then let's do that. They are that counts as friend of the channel. Is it Legend of Avantris or Legends of Avantris?
Legends of Avantris.
All right,
yes, there we go. All right.
Bye, Mike.
Bye, folks. Bye, Mike.
I got a new bag, y'all.
You got a new bag, y'all.
I got a dice bag of holding.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Thing is monstrous.
I was on a wait list for over a year. I regret nothing.
That was dope.
I love y'all leaning into this. I want to play the other one so much now because that one is all about. If this game is mostly about the hunt roll, is like the engine to drive everything, that game doesn't have a hunt roll. It's mostly just about risk rolls. And there's like risk rolls and ruin rolls. And it's cool AF. And I got to figure out how, I'm doing something wrong because, I just realized, I didn't realize this before, there's a treasure here that's listed as worth 6 gold. So how do you find that? I don't understand.
I mean, it could be something that you defeat one of the bigger monsters.
That's not what it is.
And find them.
It looks to me like you find it in a hunt roll based on where it is.
Huh.
Well, it might be kind of like Curse of Strahd, where you roll to see where the treasures are within the dungeon.
Hey, I'll go talk to Jesse, but I've been asking him questions on a forum and getting good advice because I feel like I've made a lot of progress in understanding the hunt roll and risk roll. The combat roll I got. I'm loving how combat works in this game. That is the thing that I dig so hard. It's not all of the 5e. That's the thing that I like about this.
Yeah.
Also, it could also just be kind of this one adventure There's another one in the book, and then he kind of talks to you about how to convert other adventures to it. So that's a whole
I'm
thing.
also
Legit.
sorry that I won't be here next week, and I hadn't even thought about it yet. I hadn't
So-
even
We
thought
will
about
miss
it.
you.
I will talk to you offline about what to do about Dez. I think we both are kind of similar philosophy. I just want to kind of make sure we're in the same.
I want it to be gruesome. I want it to be oh so delicious.
How much ruin is she at right now?
She was at 4.
Excellent. Perfect.
So with the spell, although, do you still take ruin even if it's successful?
No, it's just you would get an extra dark die. Not an extra. You have to take the dark die in a risk
Got
roll
it.
to cast the ritual. So you are not being petrified, but the creature can do other things also. So
Well, like
Like
I
eat you.
said, I'm totally fine with that poisoning her brain. You can make it. You can make it so that she's one with that for the rest.
I
We can
will.
talk.
Yeah, we'll talk. I
We'll
want to
talk.
be respectful of your character and all of that.
we'll
Everybody else
talk.
good?
Yep.
Chase, you cool with
Fantastic.
everything?
Yes.
With turning into ooze?
That was great. That was fantastic.
Cool. Y'all enjoy your afternoons, and we'll catch up online,
too.
y'all.
Bye.
Good playing
folks.
with you, Kaya.
You too.
Aye.